Sup everyone, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about something I think a lot of you guys already feel it. It's maybe something that doesn't need to get spelled out so soon, but I just can't help but notice no one really seems to care that much about Tighnari or Tighnari, however you pronounce his name. Sorry if I butchered it, but back to topic here. Why is it that we tend to get excited at their first reveal, but then less excited once we get to know the character a little more, and of course get to know other characters that are even further away through teasers, leaks, or whatever, right? I can't help but notice that this also happened in Inazuma. When the Inazuma first released, characters were shown, people got extremely excited for it. As time went on and the characters actually hit the servers and people got to pull them, the excitement really wasn't there anymore. And I can't help but notice that Tighnari's descent into irrelevancy at this point has been expedited by Hoyoverse releasing that teaser showcasing more characters. Now, this is something that I want to make very clear for you guys. If you only watch my YouTube videos, you don't watch me in my live streams, I've said this a lot, and that is Hoyoverse is no longer worried that you're not spending money or your money is not being spent on certain banners. They will do everything they can to keep you around, but they're okay with you skipping banners and not being interested in a certain character. I'll explain why, okay? And that is because over the long span of you playing Genshin Impact, overall, if you're gonna drop money, you're gonna drop money. If you're not gonna drop money, you're not gonna drop money. If somebody doesn't have the money, Hoyoverse can't force them to magically have the money. But what they can do with people who can spend is that they will find a way, one way or another, to get you to spend that money. Let me explain. Currently, I'm not the only one who likely believes in this, is that Tighnari will not be the most popular Dendro character or most popular Sumeru released character. And that is okay with Hoyoverse, because you know what? With all the characters that they have teased, there's bound to be one that you are more interested in than the other ones. And let me add, those are not going to be all the Sumeru characters there is. There's gonna be more out there. They just haven't shown you guys yet. But just out of these few that they've already teased, I'm sure some of you resonate with one or the other. I am almost sure of it, actually. So to Hoyoverse, it's really not important whether you pick up Tighnari, as long as someone is picking up Tighnari. I guarantee you there's someone out there who is going to C6 R5 Tighnari, and that's their very first and likely only C6 R5 character, because they've saved up for so long and they are head over heels for Tighnari, or they're gonna drop like $800-900 just for Tighnari because they find him so cool and they love him to death. So those people are already taken care of for Hoyoverse. Now going forward to the next character, someone's gonna do that as well, and so on and so forth. There's a chance that you're gonna arrive at a character in Sumeru and be like, damn, that's the one. I'm gonna drop everything on this one. So that aside, I hope everybody here understands that Hoyoverse's goal here is no longer to make you want to desire every single character. You've seen how they now diversified different niches and tropes, character traits to maximize how likable a character is and how much people are willing to go in for them. Just from the few words Tighnari have spoken in the Fatui teaser video, you can kind of already see what kind of character this guy is. He's relatively soft-spoken, he's gonna be a great companion, he seems to be caring, and he's definitely more of a leader than a boss. The way he called out to Kole and his general demeanor through other teaser videos shown through the Sumeru releases. One thing about Tighnari is he doesn't scream for attention. He isn't really particularly flashy, he isn't flamboyant, nor is he rigid. He seems to be this smack dang right in the middle kind of character who's easily forgettable. I'll be honest with you guys, and that is his character design. There's no faults in that. It's just that that's who Tighnari is. If you guys watch anime, he's like the Kuroko no Basuke of the Sumeru characters. You almost forget he's there. Now, this video isn't really even touching on the fact of how useful useful he's going to be as a Dendro character. I assure you, there's going to be people polling for Tighnari just for the sake of having a Dendro character in their rosters from the beginning of Sumeru, but that doesn't mean that his usefulness is going to stay consistent throughout Sumeru's release. His usefulness will likely take a nosedive harder than most newer characters will have, and that is because, like I mentioned, people are going to pull for him just to have that Dendro synergy in their team comps and to get to play around with Dendro, but eventually they're going to drop him off for better Dendro options down the line, such as the silver-haired character in the teaser, as well as the Dendro Archon. So realistically, I don't think it's going to be that surprising that if Tighnari does end up being unpopular or has a lower banner sale. At this point in Genshin Impact, I think both the players and Hoyoverse has matured to the point where Hoyoverse know specifically how to design a character to fit certain niche groups, and the players knows more so what kind of playstyle and characters that they want in their team rosters to maximize their gaming experience. So at the end of the day, the question really is, how does Tighnari make you feel about the game of Genshin Impact? Even without seeing Dendro, do you think his character design overall is appealing to you, or are you simply getting excited the fact that he is the first Dendro character? Personally, of course, I'm going to be polling for him. I want to test Dendros. I want to try all the team options, and I've said this many times in the past. I pull for characters because I want to play every single character in all the possible team comps that they can be played in, and even some that they're not meant to be played in, because I do still think that the combat and character in Genshin is the most irreplaceable experience in the game for me. But do I think Tighnari looks and feels particularly amazing and enticing? No, not really. I quite frankly find him to look somewhat like a barely passable 5-star. I do think there's an argument to be made that Dory even has a cooler general aesthetic than Tighnari does. Now, that being said, I don't hate the character. A lot of people will see, oh, you don't love him, so you have to hate him, right? No, I feel indifferent about this character. I think he's gonna be pretty good, but I don't think he's gonna be that amazing. I think people are gonna be quite confused with the Dendro element and all its reactions and what it's capable of, and Tighnari is gonna kind of get slotted right in the middle of this confusion as people try to work out what's the best way to play him. And I'll be quite frank, he has big shoes to fill. The excitement, the hype of Sumeru in combination with the release of a new element and all its synergies will mean that Tighnari somehow has to fill these enormous shoes of community expectations, and to have that all be shouldered on one character is a little unfair. So if Tighnari doesn't end up meeting community expectations and then people start trash talking him, just letting you know, I've always felt indifferent about this character, and it's not because that he's not going to live up to the hype, because the hype is just, let's be quite real, unrealistic at this point, right? So don't feel bad when Tighnari eventually becomes somewhat irrelevant, because no single character could have ever lived up to what Sumeru and Dendro will be in your imaginations. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and with that said, I think I'll be taking my leave for now, because I don't want to be on the Tighnari mains hit list before the character even comes out. I'm simply labeling a fact, and I think Tighnari mains themselves can understand why this particular character may not be the most favored in the Sumeru character line. And until next time, I urge you all to stay safe and peace.